How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to On The Ball, and it is another round of Premier League predictions, which is week 7, I believe. This is game week 7.
Game week 7.
Me and Sim going head-to-head in predicting Premier League outcomes. We have our scores on the doors at the moment, which I can't see in front of me right now.
You're up by 3.
But I'm up by 3.
Yeah.
The way it works is 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result in the star man. Once you pick that man, you can't pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist. Let's get into the weekend's action. Starting off at Selhurst Park, Palace against Liverpool. What have you gone for?
I have gone for 2-2.
No way.
Yeah.
2-2?
Yeah. 2-2.
Really?
I just feel like Palace at Selhurst Park, it's always a difficult place.
Looking for those differentials, I see.
No, but I just feel like Palace are winless at the moment. Glasner might try something different in this game, and the way Palace are set up, they've got the players that I think could really hurt Liverpool in transition, Eze, Nketiah, Mateta. I feel like this is a kind of game where I don't think they'll win, but I think they're going to show a different level of performance, in my opinion. Liverpool had the tough midweek game. Obviously, they won 2-0 against Bologna at home. Good result for them. Had their struggles at Wolves last week. They won 2-1, albeit I thought they deserved to win. I just feel like Palace, Glasner needs to start picking up little results, and he needs to start picking up more points. And I think it's going to be a difficult game for Liverpool, and I think Palace could be well set up to exploit them. So, but they've got so much quality, so I don't know if Palace will win. So I've gone for a 2-2 draw here.
I've gone for 3-1 to Liverpool. I've gone for the favourite to win. I think Liverpool are playing really well at the moment. Obviously, I don't think it was their best performance last week against Wolves, but they got the job done, and look, they probably could have and should have scored more goals than they did. Palace, I don't know, they've just started the season out of sorts completely. Haven't won a game yet, with one of the best 3 teams in the league coming to their stadium. Yeah, I do think they're going to put on probably a better performance than they have done in recent weeks and probably make it hard for Liverpool. But I feel like as time progresses, as the game goes by, I think Liverpool will find more and more kind of openings and chances throughout the game. So I think the favourites will win, and I don't think it will be convincing for the most part, but I think by the end of it, a 2-goal buffer, and it will look pretty convincing by the end of it. So I have gone for 3-1. Moving on to the 3 p.m. kickoffs, we go to the Emirates, Arsenal against Southampton, and I have gone for 4-1 to Southampton. I've gone for Arsenal not to keep a clean sheet. I think the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, really good game against PSG in midweek. Really good game, even though they had to leave it till late against Leicester last week, where they created copious amounts of chances. And look, Southampton are just conceding so many goals at the moment. Even without Odegaard, I can't see Arsenal absolutely battering them. I feel like they can find a goal from somewhere, but yeah, I can't look past an Arsenal battering this weekend.
I've gone for 3-1 to Southampton.
3-1.
No, I'm joking. 4-0 Arsenal, obviously. I can't see anything but a Arsenal battering here. Southampton just looks so open. I don't see them. Look, they're going to have to do something different in this game if they're going to get results. So if they keep playing the way they are, they're going to get just completely opened up. But I just don't know if Southampton know any other way of playing, but playing out the back, trying to play through the lines. And I expect them to get a bit of joy doing that, but I just can't see them hurting this Arsenal backline, which is so fierce and so strong. And I think Arsenal are just going to ruthlessly exploit the openings that Southampton leave. And I can't see but a rout for Arsenal here, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
I would have said the same against Leicester, and they struggled in that game. So.
Well, yeah, you say they struggled, but they just created so many chances, and like 2-2 was like the least 2-2 game that you could envisage.
Ramsdale's in goal.
He's actually been, I say he's been pretty good. I mean, he was all right in his first few games. If it wasn't for Ramsdale, they'll probably concede even more goals than they concede.
Maybe he can have a worldie against his old club. He's going to be there to prove a point.
Let's hope so. I hope so. You want to change your prediction then?
No. He'll probably have a worldie and they'll still lose 4-0.
Probably. Moving on to Brentford against Wolves. What you gone for in this one?
Brentford against Wolves, I've gone for 1-1. 1-1 at the GTEC Stadium. I just think Brentford, obviously no Wissa in this game, who nearly joined Wolves actually in the summer, but they were able to keep him, but he's obviously out for this one. Such a big miss for them. I think at home, I do think Brentford will be the favourites for this one. Wolves are really struggling for points at the moment, just 1 point at the moment, but I think the way both teams are set up, both like to play free at the back, both teams like to play the counter-attack, both teams like set pieces. I think Wolves, have been really struggling, but they have also shown some fight in a lot of their games. You know, they were 1-0 up against Villa till late on. They had a good, decent showing against Liverpool, albeit probably deserved to lose still. Should have gotten something out of the Newcastle game, which they lost 2-1 at home. So
weren't too bad against Arsenal either, to be fair.
Arsenal, they lost 2-0, but were decent in that game. So I think they'll go away from home and they'll battle away for a point here. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I've gone for the exact same 1-1 in this game. I think Brentford obviously have been very good at home this season. They drew with West Ham last time out 1-1, but they beat Leyton Orient in the Cup. They beat Southampton 3-1. They beat Crystal Palace 2-1, albeit all those teams that they have played so far, apart from West Ham, haven't won a game this season. Wolves, on the other hand, I feel like they're going to set up to complete... I think both of these teams are going to set up to frustrate each other, to be honest, and I feel like probably just cancel each other out. I think if Whistle was playing, I probably would have sided just about with a Brentford win, but because he's out and that diminishes a massive threat that they do have, and he started the season on fire, didn't he? I envisage Mbeumo scoring after 60 seconds.
Is your money on another person?
Yeah, and then Wolves coming back into it and getting that equaliser. So I'm going for 1-1.
Gone for them.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go on to Leicester against Bournemouth at the King Power. I have gone for 2-1 to Bournemouth in this game. I think Leicester have been a bit up and down this season. They're definitely shown that they can find the back of the net, which is, with the, 38, 39-year-old Jamie Vardy? 37, which is unbelievable, rolling back the years in the Premier League, which is definitely a testament to him. But I think there's still been a few moans and groans from the fan base about the manager Cooper, because, they had Maresca last season. They've gone to Cooper this season, and the styles of play couldn't be further from the opposite side. So I think there are moans and groans for the Leicester fan base, even though they haven't been shocking so far this season. Bournemouth, on the other hand, I feel like they should be on probably more points than they're on this season with the style of play that they got, with the points that they've been getting this season. And I just feel that it'll be a hard team for maybe Bournemouth to break down for the most part, but I think they'll get a lot of chances in this game, and I think they'll just about go over the line. But I see it being a bit of a tight game.
I've gone for 2-2. I've gone for Leicester to get a point here at home. I feel like that with the home crowd behind them, I actually feel like Jamie Vardy, this will be a game that suits him a bit, because I know Bournemouth are going to be high pressing and be very direct and commit players forward, and that could leave a bit of space for Jamie Vardy running in behind, which he's shown this season, albeit he struggled in some games. But if you give him a bit of space, he's still got that pace that can hurt teams. You saw that when he completely outpaced Mark Guehi for that goal at Palace. So I think they're going to have some joy. I actually think a pivot of Winks and Skip and Ndidi in the middle could suit this game, because Bournemouth are very combative in the middle, and they can match that and just win some duels in the middle and then get themselves up on counter-attacks. They could get some joy. I do like Mavdidi and Fatou as well on the wing, so they could cause trouble. But also Bournemouth, Evan Ilston's just got his first goal. Semenyo's on fire. I also look at Leicester's backline, and I know Justin got 2 goals last week, but I still think defensively they're very suspect. So I do see Bournemouth as well being able to hurt Leicester going forward. So I couldn't split them, so I actually went for 2-2.
All right, 2-2. Let's move on to the Etihad. It's Manchester City against high-flying Fulham at the moment. What have you gone for in this one?
I went for 3-1 to City.
Same as me.
Yeah, I can't see anything. But even without, I know De Bruyne is still injured, I was just reading, and obviously Rodri's out. But I think they still should have enough to dominate this game. And with the quality they have, Foden coming back to full fitness, he scored in midweek, looked really, really sharp as well. So he looks like he's getting back into the team and back to his best. So with Foden back in the team, I think they're going to have too much quality. But Fulham, they're playing well. They're confident. They've got players like Adama, who in transition could definitely hurt Man City as well. Obviously Smith Rowe, I think he's playing really well. Jimenez is coming into form, so I do see them getting a goal, but I think City are going to have too much.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think Foden, I don't know if he'll start this game, but I do think he comes on and makes an impact. I mean, City just got players all over the pitch that can hurt this Fulham side, albeit Fulham, like you say, on the transition can hurt Man City, but I just can't see that being a regularity in this game. So I feel like Fulham can get a goal at some point in the game, but I think it will be a dominant performance from Man City. And they need it as well on the back of 2 draws in the Premier League in a row with Newcastle and Arsenal. They just need to get back to winning ways and stay top of the league, really. So I've gone for 3-1. Next up is West Ham against Ipswich, which is going to be a really interesting game at the London Stadium, because Ipswich on the back of, was it 4 draws or 3 draws in a row for Ipswich, and a really impressive one last time out against Aston Villa, where they came from behind to get that draw with Liam Delap on firing form at the moment. West Ham are winless. Oh, no, sorry, they're not, but they are.
They beat Palace away, but
Yeah,
they're
but they're
only
struggling.
1 win in 5. Yeah,
They're struggling at the moment under Lopetegui, and not all seems to be well there with Mohamed Kudus and Lopetegui coming to blows last week. However, I do feel that West Ham could be onto 3 points this weekend. I feel that maybe they would have put on very hard work on the training pitch. I mean, the manager knows that he needs to turn the results very quickly if he's going to save his job, because already they're talking about the end of life for Lopetegui at West Ham. And I do think he's a very good manager, so I do think he will turn it around there at some point. And with Ipswich, they are kind of surprising a few people with their lack of losses in the last 4 games. However, I do feel like that run could come to an end this weekend, but I do see it being a very hard-fought game. But I just think the quality that West Ham have in the front line could be the difference.
That's what you're going for.
2-1. 2-1 to West Ham.
I've also gone 2-1 West Ham as well. I think it's going to be a really tight game. I think Ipswich are really set up this season to they're actually looking really organised, and I think they're making it hard for the opposition. I know they lost to Liverpool and City, but even in those 2 games, Liverpool, there was 0-0 at half-time. They could have been ahead in that game. City, they took the lead when they were 1-0 up, albeit they ended up succumbing to Erling Haaland in the end, but there was, gave them City a bit of trouble, and then all the other games have been draws, and they've given them, all the teams, a tough ride. Obviously they got a 0-0 draw away at Brighton as well. They got a draw away at Southampton, which is maybe disappointing, but the game against Villa, they really should have won that game. They'll be so disappointed that the chances they created, they didn't win. But I think this is a massive, massive game for Lopetegui and West Ham. I think he's going to pull out all the stops. I think they should have to be a bit more on the front foot. They have to use the quality they got on the front line. But even with that, because of how organised Ipswich are, still seeing it be a close game, but I've just gone for West Ham to scrape it 2-1.
Yeah, and you feel like if West Ham don't get all 3 points in this game, the alarm bells really will start ringing, won't they? Because when a promoted side comes to your home stadium, especially with the ambitions that West Ham have to be in the top half, chasing the European pack, I mean, do you feel like Lopetegui could be on the brink, maybe even, if he loses?
I wouldn't go that far. If he loses, the pressure's definitely heaping on him. But I don't think they're going to sack him just yet. It's way too early. It's 7 games.
They gave him so much money in the summer as well.
They did, but I guess you could argue, look, you put like Graham Potter in there, maybe he could do a much better job potentially with how he plays football. But I feel like they've trusted him. They appointed him. I don't think they're going to sack him after 7 games.
Let's move on to Goodison Park. Everton against Newcastle. What are you going for in this one?
I've gone for 2-1 to Everton. I've gone for Everton to win this. Isaac still being out. I think the way Everton like to press, the way Everton are playing at the moment, they're a very, very forceful team, and they I think they've been up in their game a bit recently. A good win against Crystal Palace, albeit they did need 2 bits of quality from Dwight McNeil to win the game. I just feel like Newcastle, they got that loss. They lost 2 games. They did have a good performance in the City, but they lost quite badly away at Fulham. And I feel like if Everton put them under that kind of pressure, they might succumb to it. I think obviously Newcastle are a good team, so I do see them, probably dominating possession and probably trying to pick the lock against Everton. But Everton can be quite organised on their day, and without Isaac, I just feel like they might be missing that focal point. So I feel like Everton from set pieces might get some joy here. So I've gone for a 2-1 win to Everton, and also Newcastle against Fulham struggle quite a lot with that high press, and Everton, where they do press high, can be quite effective. I think they're like in the top 5,
high turnovers.
Yeah. So I feel like, I'm going to go for an Everton win here.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Everton's season and Everton's fortunes are starting to change at the moment. I think 4 points in their last 2 games. Obviously, the win came against Crystal Palace, which did heap some pressure onto Ollie Glasner. But Sean Dyche has a knack of doing this, doesn't he? Like, absolutely, just losing like 5-6 games in a row and then just going on a bit of a run of form. And I think that run of form is starting to turn for Everton. I have gone for 1-1 in this game, as well as Everton. I feel like Newcastle, they haven't been performing away from home. They've only got 1 win, which is against Wolves. They've lost 3-1 to Fulham. They've drawn 1-1 to Bournemouth as well. I feel like Everton might be the better side in this game, but Newcastle have got this knack of this season of performing not well and just seemingly getting some points on the board in the majority of games that they are playing. So I feel like it's going to be I actually think it's going to be quite an exciting game of football, which you don't really associate with Everton games very often. But I'm going to go for 1-1. I feel like it'll be shared points, but I think 1-1 will probably be a good result for Everton.
Yeah, not a bad result. I mean, considering they started the season with 4 losses, is not great. But I think 1-1 they'll probably take it.
Let's go to Villa against Manchester United. And is this going to be the last game for Erik ten Hag? Very well could be, albeit they did just about get over the line with 10 men last night in Europe against Porto away, and Bruno Fernandes getting his second red card in the space of a week. I have gone for 3-1 to Aston Villa, and I feel like maybe even Man United might go ahead in this game early doors, but I think Aston Villa are going to wipe the floor with them after that. Man United just not playing with any sort of confidence at the moment. It really does feel like the last days of Erik ten Hag. Man United fans will be very happy with that. And I even get the feeling like some toxic Man United fans probably want them to lose this game just so they see the back of Erik ten Hag. So, look, Villa playing very well at the moment. They're getting consistent points on the board. Yes, they did have a very difficult game in midweek against Bayern Munich, which they got 3 points in the Champions League, which they put in a massive effort for. Man United, on the other hand, also had a very taxing game away in Porto, drew 3-3. But I just can't see anything in this for Man United, so I've gone for 3-1.
I was toying with a Man United draw, to be honest, just because they did the double over Villa last season, and this type of game that might suit them. But I have gone for a 3-2 win for Aston Villa. 3-2. I do think it'll be a spirited performance from Man United. It could be Ten Hag's last game, and I think these kind of transitional games, both teams are quite transitional, and we've seen Villa are quite open. They do concede chances. 2 at home to 2 away at Ipswich, 2 at home to Everton as well. Like, they do concede chances and goals. I think with the players Man United having the forward line like Rashford, who played quite well midweek, Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes is going to be available after the red card got overturned. I could definitely see them getting joy, but I just feel like the transitions, as much as it might go in their favour, it's going to go against them as well, and they're going to be so open. They've got, and Villa with Watkins in firing form again, John Duran coming off the bench. Philogene started in midweek and apparently had a brilliant game. And
he started against Bayern, did he?
Yeah,
wow.
Apparently he played really well, and apparently he's going to start again on Sunday. So I think with all these different things and Villa being at home, I can even see Man United, as you say, going 1-0 or 2-1 up and, looking like they're looking good. But they just can't hold on to leads, can they? As soon as they get in the lead, they seem to crumble. And the pressure from Villa Park, I think, is going to tell. We've seen Villa turn it around in second halves against Wolves. We saw it turn around against Everton. And I think this could be another case of that. So I've gone for a 3-2 win to Aston Villa.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes has got more red cards in the last 7 days than he's got goals all season.
Unbelievable, albeit the one against Spurs being overturned, and I thought the one in midweek
was
harsh as well.
They probably were. They were both very harsh, and I think the one in midweek should be overturned, to be honest. But
I think it's
how unlucky can you be? Was it not a straight red for a high boot?
Was it straight red?
I thought it was.
If it was straight red, then that should be overturned. I thought it was a double yellow.
Because he did get a yellow early on in the game. I'm not sure if they gave him the yellow for that, but when I was watching, because we were on the fan show when we were watching it, and I just saw the red show up. I didn't see a yellow card. Maybe I just missed it.
I assume it was double yellow.
Let's go to Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Both sides doing really well this year. What are you going for?
2-1 to Chelsea. 2-1 to Chelsea. I think it's actually Forest are playing really well at the moment. They're keeping things tight. They're very well organised. They got really good transitional threats as well. You saw what they did at Anfield. How they were able to keep Liverpool quiet, and that's no mean feat. Liverpool are very, very good attacking team, and they managed to keep a clean sheet. They brought Hudson-Odoi and Elanga on late on, and tactically outclassed Liverpool and Arne Slot. So Nuno's doing a good job. They did have their first loss against Fulham last week at home, albeit it was again another close game, and they did succumb to what was a dodgy penalty which Jimenez stuck away. I do think they're going to go to Chelsea and try and frustrate, but Chelsea are just in a rich vein of form at the moment. They seem to be full of confidence. I guess Liverpool were as well, and the Forest were able to overcome that, but I just don't think they'll be able to do that against this Chelsea team who just got such a plethora of attacking options. Palmer and Sancho both getting a good rest in midweek as well. I just see them in a close game where Forest are going to, play that low block and try and exploit Chelsea. And Chelsea can be exploited more than I think Liverpool can, but I also think at the moment Chelsea are just flying high. So I've just gone for a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Yeah,
I've gone for the exact same scoreline. Can't see anything but a Chelsea win. Forest have been brilliant this season under Nuno, but fortunes may be starting to turn a little bit. Was it a draw last weekend or did they lose?
Who? Forest to Fulham on 1-0.
Yeah, so I think fortunes are starting to turn a little bit for Forest. I thought it was a bit too good to be true for Nuno to keep this run going, and I think it will be 2 losses in a row against high-flying Chelsea. I think that attacking talent that they do have is probably, when you're looking at a whole, could be the best in the Premier League in terms of depth, up there with Manchester City. So Yeah, Chelsea will get the win at Stamford Bridge 2-1. And now we finish off with Brighton against Tottenham, which is the 4:00 game on the Sunday. I have gone for 3-2 to Tottenham.
3-2.
The Highline derby, I think there's going to be chances galore at both ends. We know that Brighton have got the attacking talent to hurt anyone. Spurs are really starting to turn the corner at the moment. 5 wins in a row in all competitions. And I think Spurs will want to right the wrongs of the disastrous performance at the Amex last season when we lost 4-2. So this game 100% promises goals. I think both teams are really going to fancy their chances. Brighton, I think, probably would have wanted more points in their last 2 or 3 games than they've got because, they had a flying start to the season, but things are not going exactly according to plan in the last few games, and Spurs are looking like the better team in form at the moment with the likes of Brennan Johnson, whether it be Timo Werner, Mikey Moore, Dom Solanke really have the tools to hurt Brighton, but I think on the other side as well, they've got tools to really hurt us. So I think it'll be a really good battle, a really attacking, really exciting game of football, probably the most exciting game of the weekend, but I've sided with 3-2 to Tottenham.
I've gone 3-1 to Tottenham. I think we will win. I think we're going to be in a better situation to exploit their high line. I think it's going to be, as you say, both teams just going over the top and looking to get in behind each other. And I'm just backing us to make most use of our chances in behind them the way that they are. And as well, I actually think we're going to be able to get in behind them more than they are us, because we have Van der Ven, who had a nice rest in midweek, because we've got people like Adogi Romero, who's going to be, so combative in the centre-back position. I just feel like Brighton, I'm sure they'll get chances, but the amount of chances they get compared to us, who when we get in behind, Solanke's in good form, Brennan's obviously on fire right now, and I think as well in the middle you got Decky just being an absolute bull in that midfield. He's so hard to get the ball off, and I feel like when we're pressing them, we're going to be able to get more opportunities, and they will when they're pressing us. And Brighton have obviously been doing well this season, but as you say, 4 games without a win now, and in that a 0-0 at home to Ipswich, a 2-2 at home to Forest, and obviously getting battered 4-2 away at Chelsea. And Chelsea just ruthlessly exploited that hard line time and time again. And I think Tottenham should be able to do something similar. So I've gone for a 3-1 win to Spurs.
All right, Starman time. Who have you gone for?
I have gone for Jared Bowen.
Jared Bowen.
West Ham, home to Ipswich.
Okay.
I think it's time for him to step up, and it's a big game for them. And he usually steps up when they need him to. So I'm going for Jared Bowen.
I have gone for Brennan Johnson.
Brennan, the man on fire.
Brennan Johnson, 5 goals in his last 5 games.
Didn't you? Why?
5 goals in 5. He's going to have that in-behind threat against the very high Brighton line this weekend. So I think if anyone's going to be the danger man for Spurs this weekend, it will be the man on form, which is Brennan Johnson. So that is our Predict the Prem. Let us know in the comments section below your predictions this weekend. Who do you think is going to come out on top, me or Sim? Like, subscribe and comment, and we'll see you next time.